Welcome back to the Reptiles With Podcast. Today we're hanging out at the Daytona Beach National Reptile Breeders Expo. Clearly, I'm not there right now. I'm in my snake room. I just got back. But before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, share with your reptile-loving friends. We're going to talk hognose, sand boas, documentaries, a bunch of cool stuff from really great keepers and breeders. And stay tuned to the end of the episode. There's something that I want to talk to you guys about, and it could be good news, it could be bad news. That being said, let's get started.
Hey guys, Alvaro, Clover's Reptiles. So you guys can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, all Clover's Reptiles. And we do Western hognose mainly, and starting to dabble into other species, and we'll get into that here.
So the first thing I'm going to ask you is how many people trip out and ask about the venom? How many people are like, am I going to get hurt? Am I going to go to the hospital? Is that something that you're getting a lot?
Actually not. I'll get, it's funny, some of like the younger kids are like the snake discovery fans.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Will bring it up actually,
yeah.
You know. The adults, I usually have to bring it up if I'll ask, you know, hey, do you guys owned a hognose before? Mm-hmm. And then I'll bring it up. No, this is our first, and I'll talk about it. And,
yeah.
You know, I think the thing with when we hear venom, right, we're like, oh, it's going to kill me immediately, right?
Yeah.
So I'm starting to look more and more now because of the stuff that's been going on in the social media, bringing it up a little more too with people that are buying it.
Yeah, I do like a lot of the stuff that Snake Discovery is doing. Mm-hmm. And you can literally, what you're saying, you see it in the kids, you see it in the next generation. They're so much more smart about, you know, the stuff that we have. Mm-hmm. When I first got into this, there was always a concern with hognose. The concern was it's hard to get the babies to eat because you need to scent them and all this jazz. Do you see through the generations? Are you finding it easier now to rear some of the babies? How has that process been?
Yeah, you know, I think within the last couple years, we started figuring that out about, you know, keeping good feeders. Yeah. And then it really is transferring to the babies.
Yeah.
I said last year, man, I had maybe between 10 to 15 scenting babies. Okay. This year I had 5. Oh, you know, so it actually went down. I was really surprised, and I think I have, you know, most of my stuff hatched in mid-May. Yeah. I have 1 baby that's scent. Everything else is eating unscented and stuff like that.
Awesome. I love to hear that because it's mind you, obviously you have to be careful about the genetics and you're going to want to keep the shit that you're going to want to keep, but I wasn't in the early inceptions of the ball python trade. Yeah. But I don't really think that ball python people did that. I don't think, I think that they were more concerned with genetics than they were about the quality of the individual animal. Yeah. So I definitely appreciate hearing that. Another little bit of a controversial question that people always have or concern with hognose, and I'm bringing these up at the beginning so we just get them out of the way. I get it. The females eating the males. Is that still something prevalent? Is that something that you might have experienced, or is that something that's just it's not even that deep, guys?
I've never experienced it. Okay. I have seen the one, you know, a handful of people that have. But it's crazy because you'll see the crazy big breeders post it. Yeah. But I think the amount of what they have, and they're showing maybe they're breeding 60 females and they have 1 happen. You know, that's not even close to having such a big issue. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't. If you're looking for it, I wouldn't let it deter you for that. You know,
just keep them well fed too.
Yeah.
You have to feed heavy for the breeding season anyway. I don't think it'll be that much of a big deal to worry about. Yeah. You know, as long as you just keep tabs on them.
Yeah. So I ask all of this because once upon a time, right before I did the move from Miami to Orlando, I wanted to get hognose. Yeah. And those are the things that kept me from pursuing it. And I was kind of tripped out. I was like, fuck, man. I really like the animals. I think that they make an amazing pet. They're all the rage on social media. Yep. They're adorable. They come in a variety of colors. Yeah. But I was like, man, I don't think I have it in me to be sitting down and scenting things. Sitting down and, you know, having to, you know, pinky to mouth. I'm kind of worried about investing into a project that I'm like, fuck, you know, what if it eats the male? Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's not quite as you know, as it seems.
I think all the stuff, right, social media is sensationalized, right? So it gets the clicks. You know, people want to talk about it because it's something, you know, racy to talk about and stuff like that. So, you know, I haven't had any issues with the eating and stuff. And then the colors, like you said, you know, what I tell people with hognose is 99% of the time, the baby you see is the baby you're going to have 10 years down the line. You know, like some other species brown out or change the color and stuff of that.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I like the hognose too.
Hell yeah, dude. So speaking about social media, you're pretty active these days. You got yourself a YouTube channel. What's going on with that?
So we do weekly like vlog style, you know, just our journey of what how we do our stuff.
I love vlog style. I love it.
Yeah. It's easy that way. You know, like, and then we're doing bi-weekly. We're doing twice a month a podcast.
Okay.
I started concentrating on hognose because nobody else is doing hognose breeders.
Yeah.
Right. So I was doing the hognose breeder stuff, and then just dabbling other species, other different types of people within the industry in there.
Hell yeah.
So you know, it's going well. It's fun. The podcast is really fun. Just sitting, you know, talking about the animals we love. You know. So that's just really cool.
I love podcasting, and I've said it on and on this podcast. More and more people need to do a podcast. It's got to be one of those things that needs to be more out there within the... Wait, sorry, what were you saying? Yeah. Live at a show. Say it again? Yeah, it's proven, Sorry, this is what we get at a show. Sure. Hell yeah, the real fucking deal. Eric, you got any questions about hognose?
Hogs? I mean... No, we covered most of these.
Okay.
I like them.
What are your aspirations with this channel?
With the channel, man, I just want to reach as many people as possible. Look, what I've said is like, it's great that the reptile people are tuning in, but you know, I want to be able to everybody else, and that's the struggle, trying to get to the general masses. You know, because if you're a reptile person, you Google, you know, whatever reptile you're looking or reptiles, you know, whatever it is, but my aspiration is getting it to the mass.
And the hogs are a good one to do that with too. Like when it comes, it's like it's a popular species. It always goes viral every now and then, and it's a manageable size. Because I do have a belief that when it comes to keeping, we're gonna get smaller with the stuff that's like popular. And I think hogs are probably gonna be like right up there with the ball pythons pretty soon. See a lot of cool.
You know,
stuff
the way we're living now, where like living spaces are getting smaller and smaller, it's hard to keep a boa or something bigger, you know, in a smaller living space.
Especially properly.
Correct.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing with, you know, offering a ball python a 4x2x18, and that might be like good for that ball python, but it's even better for a hognose. It's a smaller species. They'll be able to actually really explore their enclosure. They're much more active. Yeah. Cute little things.
That's what I tell people is like with the enclosures and stuff like that. I tell them like as breeders, we keep it in racks because of convenience, the sanitary wise and stuff like that. But if I started with one pet and I kept it in the glass enclosure and stuff like that, you know, I have bearded dragons that we keep in a 4x2x2. So you know, I have barons now, so I'm planning to do like a, you know. What's it called? Like arboreal stuff.
Okay. So barons, bearded dragons, hognose. What else? That's kind of
giant hognose, giant Madagascar hognose.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Very cool.
So some of that stuff in the next year or two, we're gonna you'll see on our table.
Yeah. So, you like those?
I love those.
They're really cool.
What is it about them that you like so much?
It's okay. So they're not in the same genus as the American ones, which are my favorites.
Okay.
It's just. It's a larger snake. It kind of like hits a lot of those like points that you want. You know, a little bit bigger of a snake, something a little more active. It's a hognose. They're just beautiful too. I love Madagascar. I mean, they're cool.
Madagascar.
Cool. It's like the Super Saiyan version of the.
I hear that. But you know what? With the Mad Hogs, they're so big,
Mad
but they
Hogs
don't have
is fire.
They don't have the attitude is not there like the small ones, which I think is a good thing because the little ones they have that. Hissing, they'll hood up and stuff like that. The Madagascar hogs are just a lot lot even-keeled animals. You
think it's because of the size? They're a little bit more confident?
Man. They feel more confident.
Themselves.
Yeah, that's why I'm always so aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm so little. Like, no, don't fuck with me.
That's right.
Little hogs. If there's any snake to have attitude, I'd prefer to be a hog because the amount of damage that could do, if anything, is so little.
Yeah.
That's a perfect snake if for someone who's not really like... I'd say get a hog regardless if you want to get over the fear, but for a lot of people to get over the fear of like working with the snake, the hog's perfect because it's always hissing, it's always like fake striking at you, so you get used to those movements and you just learn to just with minimal overhead injury.
There you go, dude.
Very true. Yeah,
you got anything like dream-wise that you want to get into that you're like, okay, maybe this is going to be a future thing I do?
Yeah, man. monkey tail skinks.
Ooh, fire.
I want to get those, but I want to have, like a colony of them and get a large enclosure. Yeah. So that's going to be, down the road thing once I get some of the more of the other species going and stuff. Yeah. So, that's one thing.
Yeah, man. Cool, bro. Well, thank you so much.
For sure. I appreciate having you here, man. Thank you, Eric.
No problem, bro.
Where can people find you one more time?
Yeah, Clover's Reptiles on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So make sure you guys follow us. And yearly I just did a hit giveaway last month for a hognose, a couple other things. So subscribers, stay tuned because we're probably gonna do it yearly. So make sure you guys check that out.
Let's go, man. Well, keep at it, do the grind.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you guys having me.
For sure.
Hey friends, my name's Steven with LeviathanSnakes, and I am one half of LeviathanSnakes, with my wife Courtney being the one who actually started it and does 90% of all of the actual work for it. I'm just the pretty face. That's what I get to do.
Got you.
Yeah.
So, before we started recording, we were talking about equipment. Why were we talking about equipment?
All right, so you're super big into audio equipment. I don't know how big you are onto videography, but
I'm just starting to touch the videography stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So I love all of it. I'm kind of the opposite, where I'm really into the cameras and videography. I'm getting into the audio stuff now.
Got you.
So we were talking about these mics, and we have the SM57s that we do for our Patreon podcast and all that stuff. But it was actually you watching your stuff on YouTube where I was because I'm always laughing at stuff if it's audio, nobody's going to see it anyway. It's perfect for it.
And we started really chatting when we were in the podcast. We started talking about potentially doing that Split Oak documentary.
Yes.
And the stuff that you guys release on Instagram, the quality is insane. I legitimately envy it. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, this is so good. I wish I can do this. And we were talking about obsessing over equipment, and you're I got to start watching it. I'm kind of at the same place because I started buying a bunch of stuff for the documentary that we never even did, but I bought a bunch of stuff for it, and I'm I need to stop. It's not I'm making money on this shit. I'm just buying things left and right with no fucking consequence.
Get it, man, get it. So I'm the same way. So we're getting ready to go up to Canada for the Red Line Road Trip stuff that we're doing, which is the documentary series that we're working on.
Got you.
So I've been eyeing this 25 millimeter Nisi Athena, and again, I know this is a reptile stuff, people don't care about it, but a camera lens is what I'm really interested in.
Gotcha.
And I don't actually need this lens. It's going to be one of those things where I'll notice the difference, nobody else will.
Yeah.
So
I get you, but I mean, look, we're recording straight out of my phone, and it's a couple cables, and then we started thinking about upping the video game. Well, not video game, but our game with the visual side of this, and we were thinking about some DSLRs. But the problem is that the majority of them only have a 20-minute video length capability. They start overheating and stuff like that. And when you're doing with a podcast, it's a problem. Then you started looking at more just things that are focused on videography, so things that are for video. But then I'm but I kind of also need a camera to take nice photos of my animals. And then you're talking about just the camera itself, $1,000. Then you got all the lens. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I really so the two that we use right now is the Canon R8 and the Canon R7.
Okay.
So the R8 100% has that overheating thing. It doesn't have a record limit, but it will overheat, especially if you're doing 4K. If you're doing 1080, you can get it. You're not going to run into a problem with it at 1080, which we actually upload almost all of our stuff into 1080 because nobody cares that much on a phone. You can't really tell. But I love the R7. The R7's my favorite camera. It's a little bit more expensive. It's about $1,500.
Yeah.
But that one, no overheating problems. We can shoot in that one all day long. I love that camera.
Got you. So now the reason you have all this equipment, you're doing some kinds of documentaries. You have one that's coming out. What's going on with that?
Okay, so about a year ago, I think it was about a year ago or so. It was December. Yeah, December. Not this last December, but the one before that. So we released what we're loosely calling a documentary because it's just on our YouTube channel. I don't want to be like pretentious over here, but
it's a little bit of a short film. It looks nice. It sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we did one on the 15 Minutes of Lame contest that Chris Eaton does.
Okay.
So we had won the 3rd year that he did it. So it was kind of like the history of the contest, history of the ball python hobby specifically, because we're ball python guys.
Okay.
So, and then from there, it was just like us documenting the whole process where we ended up winning. So I was super excited because if we hadn't won, we would have been like, oh man, this sucks.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We still would have made it.
Yeah.
So we did that one. I thought it was super, super fun, but we were flying up to like New York. We went down to Justin's. We went all over the place for that one, and it was an hour and a half, so it was a feature length, and it was the very first one I'd ever done like that. And I realized I bit off way more than I could chew, and I'm proud of it, and it's on our channel. It's still up. I'm super excited about it, but I'm like, all right, we need to pare it back. Like, an hour and a half is too long for like a first thing. There's too many people involved. So what we started doing now, and this is what we were talking about, was the Redline Road Trip. So the Redline Road Trip is sponsored by Redline Shipping, and we are going around and we're kind of focusing both on shows and breeders that show is important to. So we just released the first episode, which was on Corey DeLong, and it was for the Daytona National Reptile Breeder Expo. So that one came out the Wednesday before Daytona.
Yeah.
So we're going around and we are doing one for Nick Sloan and Troy Schroeder for the All-American show. We already recorded with Bob Vu, so he's doing the Southeast Reptile Expo. Overall, just kind of like talking about these people's like journeys. I know it's a little bit of like a cliche.
But it's cool. It's definitely cool. Man, I would love to do something similar.
Get it, man.
Yeah,
because you're doing one, right?
So we ended up. I don't want to say that we didn't do it.
Okay.
Because it's more we haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of life changes this year that put a big pause on that project, and one of those life changes made me lose the majority of the content and information that I had created for that project. So I had a whole probably 5 hours worth of music bed for that project.
Yeah.
I had scripts. I had all this stuff, and I lost everything.
No.
And then we had personnel changes within the podcast. People got different jobs, and things just got a little bit complicated. And the thing is, we're all still very passionate about the project.
Yeah.
We're all still passionate about what they're doing over there at Split Oak. But it just never happened. But man, we're at a point now in the podcast where we're we want to get to the next level.
Yeah.
But we need that sponsorship push.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. And the problem is I guess it's not really a problem, more it is that the content matter in the podcast, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a lot of the way that a lot of people go about reptile content.
Yeah.
It's more, I always say it, even though we're not comedians, it's more like comedy based.
Okay.
It's more, we're dissecting different opinions on all these things that are going on in the reptile world.
Yeah.
Like if the world is bigger than what it actually is. But because we have so many different varying opinions and we get loud and we get, what we consider entertaining, some of us have strong opinions.
Yeah.
And some of them are what some would think are anti-industry, anti-certain organizations. And that kind of cuts the ties with a lot of potential sponsorships.
I see.
Yeah. So we're kind of at a middle point with a lot of that stuff. But we still have big ideas, big things that we want to do. So we're at a point where we're like, how do we fund some of this stuff? How do we get to that next level?
Yeah. So for the one, I know right now it's kind of on hold, but what is the elevator pitch for your documentary right now that you'd want?
So we really wanted to, Split Oak. Split Oak has an easement. It's a preserve. It has all of a large amount of miles of conservation land. Okay.
Yeah.
So Split Oak is between Orange County and Tino. Split Oak is between Orange County and Osceola County. Okay. So they want to build a road in. The name is appropriate. They want to Split Oak.
Yeah.
They want to build a road through it, right? We're all very passionate about conservation. So we wanted to kind of document the journey, talk a little bit about the history of split oak, and pretty much have what would be a quote-unquote herping trip to show some key species that live in this place. And then we would meet, it was 5 to 6 interviewees, and we would meet them at certain points in the trip where they would talk to us about like how we were going to get to our beginning, middle, and end throughout that. So it was going to start with somebody that is a part of the Friends of Split Oak movement, and then I wanted it to end with Daniel Parker of USARK Florida, that he's also very passionate about that. We would go to a lot of these FWC meetings, and we would just meet up with him there, and you know, he was always there, you know, ready to talk about split oak, about the gopher tortoises and stuff like that. So it was just going to be what would look like a herping trip, but the overarching theme is we need to save split oak. And because of all that legislation that was going on at that time, we were going to be able to get real-time updates as the thing was going.
I think that's going to be a great, like, I know you guys aren't working on it right now. I think that's going to be awesome. Like, I'm just, again, like, learning, we're figuring out the documentary stuff, but I just started trying to layer in where you have, like, your, like, main plot, like, plot A, all that stuff, and that's the topic of the video. But then you have, like, a different thing that's related but not the same. So, like, for Corey's, while we were down there interviewing for Corey, he had his first clutch of the laid for the season. So, like, we interspersed, like, that whole stuff, like him getting the eggs, all of that throughout it. And it's like going back and forth of him talking about Daytona because it's his 10th year vending this year. So overall, I think that's really cool. And I think that the herping trip coupled with the sit-down interviews for your A-roll to really get the awareness going for this movement. So.
Well, I hope we could do it, and I'm excited to see the different stuff that you guys are going to be working on. Man, and if there's any way I can get involved in any of that stuff, I would love to. All of that stuff is very cool. Where can people find that stuff? Where can people find you?
Okay, so LeviathanSnakes on YouTube, LeviathanSnakes on Instagram. We have a TikTok, but honestly, not very good at TikTok. I'm just throwing that out there right now. So don't make fun of us. Or if you do, that's fine. I guess it is what it is. But yeah, those are the two big ones. So YouTube and Instagram are our big two platforms.
Cool beans. So, thank you, brother. I
Thank you, man.
You.
It was awesome.
All right, I got the two legends of this podcast. All right, we got Eric and everybody's favorite for some reason, Tyler, the legend, dude. Tyler, man, how's the show, dude? How are you liking it?
It's good.
Yeah.
It could be better. It could be worse.
Okay. That's it? All right. Well,
could be better,
look,
could be worse.
Tyler's stuck in between a rock and a hard place, all right? Tyler wants to buy some animals. He were looking at 3 female North American spotted turtles. That 100% by the time we're recording this, right now, they're going to be sold, buddy.
Probably.
They're priced really fucking well. You should buy them ASAP. And yeah, dude, so where are you at with that decision on the animals that are more than likely fucking sold?
Definitely probably not going to buy them.
Okay.
I don't have over $500 to spend.
Okay.
I'm going to leave here with a gecko, though. Definitely going to buy a gecko.
What gecko?
I don't know, maybe Clemmerai.
Okay.
Oh, finally?
Maybe a Clemmerai.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of a story.
Maybe a female standing eye, if anybody has one.
Listen.
Eddie told me you never sell me one, but Eddie. I know you're watching this.
He does. He's the. Not only is he the local legend, but he also is the #1 supporter of this podcast.
Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it.
Eric, once upon a time, Tyler was looking for Clemmerai.
Oh, okay.
Was it Clemmerai or Williams Eye?
Williams Eye.
Williams Eye sounds
okay.
good, yeah.
And he was going crazy. He's like, Yoshii, you're good friends with the guys from Tiki's. So do they have a pair? I send the guys a message. Yes, we have a pair for you. Okay, cool. All right, tell them to send me an invoice. They go ahead and I send him the information. He sends the invoice. And fucking Buddy never paid the invoice. He just left that shit hanging the whole fucking time.
It was Christmas time.
Bruh.
Christmas time is here.
Yeah. Till this day, that invoice is not paid.
Oh, no, it's gone.
Super
But it's okay. Dude. We squashed the beef. Me and David kissed it out, and it's okay now.
As a matter of fact, Daniela's not the one that's pregnant. Tyler's the one that's pregnant.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I already gave birth. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't look behind the banner.
Tyler, Eric, how are you guys enjoying the show? Give us a recap of some of the stuff that you've seen. I haven't been able to walk around too much.
I just took a nap.
Yeah?
That was nice.
I saw some cool stuff. You always see one or two, like, things that you don't really see.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a nice little fly river. Always cool to see
I didn't
those.
get to see the fly river.
Wait.
Rupert.
Yeah. $3,000.
Yeah. Hope he finds a home. Good guy.
I love Rupert.
What else do we see? Lots of carpets, but I've been seeing a little more. The same ones from before.
Hercules beetle?
Lots of knobtails. I saw Asper and Amii.
Yeah.
First time seeing Asper in person.
Which is the one that you wanted?
The top
Asper.
one that I want is the Asper.
Okay.
But that's like, that's $1,000, $2,000 type scenario.
Really? Got you.
But the Amii are cool. And I also like Levis. I like them all, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
it's cool to see them.
You should be wearing your Nefarious Project shirt right now.
I lost it. I don't know where it went.
No way.
Damn, I'm sorry you're hurt by that.
No, it's just that was his identity.
No, it wasn't.
That was Yellow Hat. He's seen identity.
Yellow Hat
Eric
was my
has
identity.
3 identities. No, you have 3 identities.
Sigma?
He has Beta. No, I was kidding.
What the fuck?
He has 3 identities.
Sigma.
He has Yellow Hat, the Nefarious shirt, and the Turtle Hub shirt. Those are your identities.
Those are just my 2 orange shirts and my yellow hat.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's Eric.
Yeah, that's the old me. The yellow hat era.
Oh, who's the new you?
Chug Jug Eric.
No.
Chug Jug Eric, Green Juice Eric, which you guys will hear about in the next episode.
Oh, God.
Short hair Eric, glasses Eric.
Dirty Banana.
Dirty banana,
Reese's
drinking
Pieces
ass.
pie.
We went to eat last night, all right?
Oh, so good.
We went at a very nice seafood place here in
So
Daytona Beach.
good.
And this man orders a Dirty Banana alcoholic beverage
It
called
was
Dirty
great,
Banana.
okay.
And a Reese's Pieces pie.
Yeah, because I already ate.
That was his dinner.
Slice of ice cream pie.
Yes, sir. Well, it was an ice cream.
I had
And what I ended up
a
doing,
nice fried grouper sandwich, some French fries,
Terrible.
a bite of a what was it called? Conch fritter.
Yeah, conch
Bite of
fritters.
a conch fritter.
It was the first time
Bro,
having
and
conch
then a
fritters.
blue
yeah.
lemonade.
The
something
Ballad
or
of the
other.
Conch Fritter.
A floater.
Oh my god. All right.
Floater.
I'm gonna say one story. Tyler will give us a recap of the show, and then we'll keep this episode going. So yeah, we busted a fucking mission because your boy wanted conch fritters.
do?
All
I
right?
just wanted deep
When I'm in-
fried crustacean balls.
Dude, this is the thing. So in Miami, that's like a normal fucking thing because we're right next to the sea. So getting conch fritters is like a nice thing. I haven't had conch fritters. I get them once a year, and they're pretty much at this show.
Okay.
So we walked like 30 minutes to find a restaurant that had conch fritters. All
Greatest
right?
thing I've ever had in my life. Amazing.
Is it really?
No, but it was.
Okay.
I wouldn't walk that far for it, but I can understand why
Yeah.
you would walk that far for it.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. All right. Anyways, Tyler, recap the show, and then we'll keep the episode going.
Recap the show. I saw some cool things. I saw what was that gecko that Conception has? The 1100
Oh,
one.
the frog-eyed one.
It was similar genus.
The
That
11
wasn't-
the $1,100
There was a weird
one.
one. There was the frog eye, and then there was the
The,
one that was
well,
like,
that was $1,100.
something
There's
like
3 of
that.
them.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
It was
but
a yellow?
It wasn't really that colorful.
What the
It
fuck?
was a gecko.
Yes.
Does
Right
it
next
smell
to the
like
Clemrai.
popcorn?
It smells like
I
something.
pissed myself. I'm
Not
sorry.
popcorn.
What does it smell like?
Teen
Piss.
Spirit? I don't know.
I just passed gas.
Okay.
All right,
so
so
what it
I
is,
saw
yeah.
that was really cool. I don't know what gecko it is. Yoshi's gonna put the name of the gecko right here.
I'm not doing that.
Here's the name of the gecko. Very cool. What else did I see? I saw an orange dream ball python. Actually orange.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally, very cool.
It's like finding who asked. It's
I
crazy.
saw some really nice turtles.
Hell yeah.
Red cheeks.
a lot, yeah.
Red cheeks. What's happening?
Knobs.
There?
No, I'm ready.
Oh, you're touching
Yeah.
him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Red cheeks.
Uh-huh.
Indian tents.
The Indian tent turtles are cool. $2,000 each, and they had like 30,000 of them.
They had at least 100 grand worth of them. I'd
That-
say.
yeah, that shit's
At
fucking
least
crazy.
100 grand worth of Indian tents there.
Yeah.
Albino snapper.
Yeah.
Matamata.
Hell yeah.
Hercules.
Big-headed turtle.
Oh, yeah.
2 Chinese big headeds
Yeah.
Yep.
that were friendly.
Rock and roll. Geckos. All right. Anyways, we're going to keep this episode going.
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all sorts of social media at Maldonado's Exotic Animals.
Hell yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, my friend. You just graduated.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just
yeah.
graduated, finished high school.
Finally.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, let's go.
This man does not look like he was just in high school.
Bro, it
This
looks
is
like
a
he's my
grown-ass
age, bro.
dude. Yeah.
Damn.
No, I'm 18.
Yeah, dude. You are the future. You were literally just telling us a story, and I don't want you to name the person
Yeah.
because, not gonna lie, you started with I was 14 and 15 and I was helping this guy and all he would do is drink moonshine.
Yeah.
So explain to us what you were telling us.
So he used to breed a lot of chameleons and stuff. And
Yeah.
he lived right in my neighborhood. So walking to my bus stop every
Uh-huh.
morning, I would see him. And sometimes he would be out catching little bugs and stuff for the chameleons to eat.
Yeah.
Or he would be collecting baby chameleons off the floor. and telling me not to walk.
Okay. Yo, stay right there.
Yeah, there's
see little green
a whole bunch
things.
of panthers and stuff. He did a couple cool things where he did like hybrid. I know some people don't like hybrid, which is fine. It's respectable. But he did a ocelot male to a female panther.
Interesting.
Both babies came out looking like panthers, but with the ocelot pattern.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. Other than that, it's just a lot of cool experiences just working with different animals every now and then and hanging out at his place, just looking out chameleons and stuff.
Cool.
You know, I didn't work with any chameleons but prior, so it was a pretty cool experience to me. And then plus the one day where I might get lucky and find a chameleon.
Yeah.
If you found something, you would take it home, or you had to give it back to him?
Oh, I would probably have to give it back to him, but he doesn't live there anymore. So whatever's there now is my game.
Well, on that, something that you're known for a lot in Florida is like collecting invasives and stuff like that. You do a lot of like the night anoles. You used to post a lot of, I don't know if you're still doing it, but you used to post a lot about like these random anoles that you'd find in your backyard.
Yeah, so when I was younger, getting into it, what I would do to kind of like support my passion and hobby without my parents spending too much money is field collecting a lot of anoles. That was something I started doing. I would sell to local pet stores and reptile shops and just get store credit and just get little things I needed, little necessities, whether it's calcium, water bowls, supplies, stuff like that. And later on saving up to get more animals and all that stuff and work my way up into where I'm now.
Yeah, that's how you learn. That's how you learn the grind, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, where's the grind?
The grind?
Yeah.
It's at home.
All right.
I'm chilling right now.
It starts somewhere at least.
Yeah.
But just collecting a lot of different anoles. I would come across some of the erytheristic, which is the red-brown anoles, blue belly night anoles, which I don't know if those are proven genetic or not. But for the most part, just a whole bunch of cool little stuff while I'm field collecting to make ends meet for my collection at home that I'm working on building up.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, dude. Before we talk about the animals that you have, you work for Exotic Firehogs?
Yes, I work for Exotic Firehogs.
Okay, how's that been for you working with the hog nose, working for somebody in the industry that's doing this
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of insight on how to do things and how not to do things. I've learned a lot about genetics. I've learned a lot about the industry. Yeah. And I'm still learning a lot. There's still a crap ton for me to learn. Doesn't mean I know more than anyone, but it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And it's a lot to put into what I'm going to do in the future.
Yeah. So now the future. You are the king. You are the face of sand boas.
Well, I guess you could say that in some aspects.
That's what you're striving to be.
But yes,
so
that's what I'm striving
you are.
to be.
You gotta take that approach. You
gotta
are
have that day one.
Yeah,
type
I try
shit.
to be humble a little though.
No. Listen, every time that I see you, every single time, you talk to me for 15 minutes about sand boas.
I have
no
to.
need to be humble. You love the game when it comes to sand boas.
Oh yeah, it's straight passion. It's straight passion project. Since I was 11 years old and I saw my first snow splash sand boa, I was like, that's what I got to do.
Yeah. So explain to Eric your love for these sand boas, because it's Eric's not familiar with it. I know that you talked to me a lot about it, but this guy's a sand boa.
What's a sand boa, bro?
No, bro. What the fuck?
Well, it is a smaller boa species that's found in all of east coast of Africa and also other parts of Africa and other parts of Indonesia and not Indonesia. I'm sorry. Like India and stuff like that.
I was like, whoa, there's sand boas in
they're all like old world species. There are smaller boa species. There's only like 2 or 3 that lay eggs. So there's a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, they're all live bearing.
Yeah.
And the species that I work with right now are the Kenyan sand boas, which is the East African sand boa.
Didn't you just do a cross with the rufescence or whatever?
There's a rufescence in a lot. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's done way before I could even be a thought in this world with sand boas. So the rufescence was crossing the Kenyans and the Egyptian, which is now the classification changes a whole bunch, but basically it's another subspecies of Kenyan. Okay. So that's how you get all the albinos. The Beline albino came from an Egyptian albino Egyptian.
So they're crosses. A
lot of these are crosses. That's sadly, or however you want to put it, is for a lot of the animals in this industry.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're doing with blue tongues now.
Especially since they're now CITES 2. Yeah. So that's
sand boas?
Yeah, they're CITES class 2 CITES.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you can't just like all willy-nilly just get new bloodline. So what's here is here.
Gotcha.
Only occasionally they're imported, and I don't know the logistics on that, if it's legal.
The only ones I see getting imported are the Saharans. So.
Yeah, Saharans are plenty.
Saharans, they come in a lot.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people working on some cool projects with the Saharans.
That's cool.
I saw an albino paradox someone has in England.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's going to be some cool stuff.
Your love for these sand boas, what exactly is it that you're working with? Are you doing a little bit of everything? What's the goal?
So my main focus right now is Splash, which is basically the piebald Kenyan sand boa. It started in 2006 for Mark and Kimbell. They called it Splash because it looks like you took paint and splashed it on the sand boa. And since it came out of the yellow snow line that they had, they were just calling it Splash because you couldn't see how it broke down. But later on, as we got into albino and normal, we could see how the color gradients react and all that stuff, and now it's actually a piebald.
Interesting.
Got you.
That's really cool.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, man. You got any questions about sand boas?
How long does it take them to like get to sexual maturity? Because I know they grow super slow, and I know they breed super slow.
Females, you're looking at a 3.5 minimum to 4 years of age.
So that's like, I mean, for a smaller snake, usually you'd think it's a lot quicker.
But they're boas, and boas take a lot. You know, any live-bearing animal needs a lot of maturity on them before they're ready to go, because there can be complications and stuff. You know, you get slugs, you can get, you already know the whole list of different things that can happen. So with females, it's very important to focus on maturity more than anything. They could be 180 grams or they could be 300 grams. If they're not mature,
it's the age.
If the one that's 180 grams is more mature than the one that's 300 grams, she's going to produce a better litter than the other one. Doesn't mean it's how it should be done, but I'm just giving examples and stuff. Maturity is 100% over everything.
Yeah, because I would always value the age over the weight or whatever the animal too.
Yeah, some people get too caught up in the weight and they run into obese animals. No. You got to focus on maturity and body structure. Once your animal's nice and mature and all that stuff, you've given them the time to get to maturity, then you can go ahead and start trying to introduce and stuff and talk to your local breeders or talk to people that are experienced and stuff and make sure you bounce off of each other. Because that's what's important in this hobby.
For sure.
Having people to talk about certain things and get an idea of certain things.
So what's the deal with, what is the latest on the Splash drama?
Splash drama.
You always got Splash drama for me, buddy.
Oh, man.
I need to know what's going on with these Splash.
Yeah, so a lot of people, when I was younger getting into it, I'm still considered, younger for
it. You're fucking 18 years old, man.
Yeah, but when I was like 11, 12 years old telling people what they had, they didn't like it.
You were that kid who's like, I know more than you.
I just took advantage and made my own stuff, and now this is where I'm at. Producing my own and all that stuff because I knew a little bit more about them. So knowing that little bit, having that little edge and all that stuff has pushed me a lot further. So now I'm actually branching out into newer projects. I'm trying to get a little bit of everything going on. Focusing on getting good males and then producing my own females, because that's a good approach to have. Produce your females, make your own hets, and then get males from good lines, from different lines, so you're always out crossing, but you're still keeping that fire going. You know what I mean?
Hell
it's a good system.
Dude. Well, I'm really happy for you, bro.
Thank you.
I want everybody that's listening to this to remember this face, because this is the face of the future of Sambo. All right, buddy, one more time, where can people find you?
Maldonado's Exotic Animals, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever social media you want to find me on, you can find me on.
Let's
go. Maldonado's Exotic Animals.
What's up? I'm Emilio Hernandez from Nightfall Exotics. I am today in showroom 2, table 907.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, we got to talk cave geckos. Have you met Eric before?
Yes.
We've met quite a couple times at expos,
Yes. So Eric has been wanting to get into cave geckos. I've been a fan of cave geckos for a little bit, especially when Tiki's Geckos did their video on them, and I got to see the variety, and I was like, damn, there's a lot of potential here. What do you have for us?
Well, last time that we chatted, I had a Chinese cave with me. Today, I brought a Japanese cave. This is a Goniosaurus orientalis. This is a species that, even for people that don't really know cave geckos, a lot of them still know because they might have seen it in Reptiles magazine or through Tiki's reels and all that. So this is a species that is one of my absolute favorites. I love the orange with black striping and those bright red eyes. I think that like I said last time, it's one of the most underrated genera of all geckos, and I'm a huge fan of this one in particular.
Cool. Can I see right there?
Absolutely.
Look at this thing, dude. Eric, talk to me about this. So what is it about an animal like this that intrigues you?
So I used to keep a lot of geckos when I was younger. I got out of them for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to have them again. And I've been thinking about knobtails and, new cows and stuff. And the cave gecko's always been in like the back of my mind. Because at my old job, I'd see them sometimes. Oh, maybe I'll take one home. They're easy for the most part. And I was like, you know what? I should really get into them. Because I've been seeing a lot more of them. It's like, I'm seeing them more now. And I'm reminded of them more often. Just because it's like a leopard gecko's evil cousin. Yeah. Like it's like the anti-leopard gecko. It's so cool.
Yeah, dude.
The colors, especially specifically the Chinese. I like the Japanese a lot too. I like them equally. Yeah. But the colors on the Chinese is really cool.
Yeah. For me, okay, so I do like the Chinese variety because they are pretty much all black, and that's always fucking cool.
They got those deep red eyes.
Yeah, exactly. But then when you see something like this, and then if I'm not mistaken, is it different species or different locality that have different colorations?
So there are localities and there are species. So
there you go.
One of the lines that's been discussed a lot lately is the pink line of Orientalis, which quite a few breeders in Europe have been working with.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to get my hands on a couple of those at a show recently.
Okay.
So those are Orientalis that have a much higher white and almost like whitish pink coloration, especially when they fire up, and they really stand out. They're in my opinion, one of the most uniquely colored of all the cave geckos, just because you really don't tend to see geckos that are particularly pink, especially naturally.
Yeah.
So they really stand out.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, Eric, you have any questions for the man? This guy is doing it. He's got captive bred shit.
I'm blanking, dude.
Dude,
I'm blanking.
If you have any questions about cave geckos, right now is the time. He knows everything. You know everything. It's a fact.
Damn. Well, what are they?
They're geckos.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I'm really happy that you keep working with them. Eventually I got to pick some up from you. What is like the price variation on them? Because I mean, obviously the Chinese cave geckos, they're pretty readily available.
Wait, do you have a question?
So the funny thing is that if you talk to a lot of people that have been working with them for a while, especially I've talked to a lot of breeders, especially up in New York, who will tell you, oh yeah, I used to get these for about like $150 back in the day. And what happened was that around 2019, all of the genus got CITES listed. So there were no more imports. So all of a sudden, it was all solely captive bred that was allowed to be sold at shows, and that was really here, save for those which had already been imported previously. So that kind of changed the pricing, especially for the Japanese species, since those immediately were not as readily available.
Yeah.
So they kind of went from being $150 and maybe 2005 to nowadays, you really don't see a Japanese cave, even a juvenile, for below $450.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, what's your question?
How are they in groups? Have you ever kept them together? Is it something that's possible? In
my personal experience, it can vary a little bit by species, but I have found that 1.1s is best when you have when you want to do male-female. You can keep. Some people have had major success keeping a group of females together.
Okay.
I myself keep groups of 3 Hynenensis in 30-gallon enclosures, but you can really diversify with what you want to do. For the Orientalis, I really try to avoid having large groups. However, some people have found success in it, and if they find success in it, then they find success in it.
Very interesting. And would you keep the male in there 24/7, or does he come in just a little bit?
I generally keep my males in for about 3 months with the female, and then I take them out, especially when the female starts laying, but even sometimes before that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Very cool.
I always wonder about the cohabbing rules with species.
It's fascinating stuff. It's definitely been a hot topic as of late, too, so it's good to discuss those kinds of things.
I always try to do it whenever I can.
Yeah.
So
this guy... What was it? It was he cohabbed a day gecko with what was it?
A pictus.
And a pictus.
Yeah. It's fascinating. So how did that go for you?
Well, they did really good, yeah. I just ended up the day gecko I kept until it died, she got old, and then the pictus I ended up selling one. So selling them off.
Because if they come from the same region of Madagascar, especially, then people would consider that a biotope. I think that a lot of people have tried things like that, and despite the controversy, quite a few people have found success with it.
Yeah.
And so I think as we delve deeper into herpetoculture, I think it's important that we kind of open our eyes a little more and see what we can actually do, especially with larger builds.
Yeah, and the thing is that what you would always tell us is it was cool to see the difference in behavior because one of the animals is nocturnal, the other one's diurnal.
And same thing with the biome, arboreal, terrestrial.
Yeah.
It's it's the same the same principles you would use with like an aquarium or like a turtle scenario, you can use with most other reptiles, just most of the time. And you got to do it if you have an understanding that everything will be okay. And that's why I'm not putting like, I know people do it, but the green tree pythons with white tree frogs, I don't know if you guys seen those.
I've seen those builds, yeah.
I still think it's like, I wonder why they don't go after them. I've been told it's like a heat thing, but I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. Well,
but it is interesting.
Always question to this, but I do like what you said about opening our eyes, opening our mind, and trying to find, new ways around this thing. Mm-hmm. For sure, buddy. Well, one more time, where can people find you?
So, Nightfall Exotics.
My name is Tyler Cottingham with Quality Bred Exotics. You can find me on all social media platforms.
Hell yeah. So you were just telling me that you are super hungover, bro.
Yeah, I should have told you that after.
No, you're good. We're going to talk a little bit about it because so is our boy Eric over here.
Good.
Yeah, and we are actually going to talk about it in the podcast that comes after this episode, so I can't talk too much about it. But that's the thing about this weekend, bro. It's magical. People hang out. You get to see all kinds of people you don't get to see too often. Party with all these people. Do the networking and all that stuff. Yeah. Is this your first year vending this show?
It's my first year being here at all.
Oh, really,
I've
dude?
I've never been here. I've never vended.
Well,
so
congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Yeah, how does it feel? Does it live up to the hype, or?
I wish there was more frogs, but there's so much cool stuff. I've seen so many monitors that I want. The Kimberleys are top of my list.
The Kimberleys are over there, right? Yeah. I fuck with the Kimberleys a lot. I actually fuck a lot with what you're holding right there. Talk to us.
Oh, shit. Little Varanus Acanthrus, the red Ackies. I've been producing these now for a year and a half regularly.
Hell yeah, man.
This was one of my most recent babies. And we work with them since they come out of the egg and get them handleable and ready to go.
Yeah, so everybody out there that wants the giant monitor lizard, everybody that's like, I bought this Savannah monitor or I got this water monitor. This is what you actually want. This is an Ackie monitor. This animal right here will not get much larger than a bearded dragon. They say smaller than a bearded dragon. Than a large bearded dragon.
About the same size.
About the same, yeah.
Yeah. This animal will be extremely active, can take hot temperatures, can deal in cold temperatures, and they come red, they come yellow. There was also somebody...
The top endler?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like the color on the sides and the white stripe down the middle.
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
It's cool.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So, there's variability, but these guys are fucking sick. Is there a reason specifically that you work with them?
I got them. So I actually got my very first Ackie from I got my first Ackie from old business partner, and it was struggling, and he didn't take care of it well. And I got it back to health, and it bonded with me, or to an extent. But we started. I socialized it, and it became like my carry-around pet.
Gotcha.
And I fell in love with monitors. I think realistically, people should have an option for...
No, we don't have anything. You're good.
For dwarf species. That's why I want to get like the Kimberleys and stuff. But the Ackies, they're intelligent. They make great pets. They're easy to train, and they're good size, so that you don't have to worry about huge cages and stuff. And I try to get people to go for dwarf species if they want a monitor over the $20 imported Savannahs.
Yeah. Of course, dude. And it's like, it becomes one of those things that it's like, you getting a pet should be an investment for a good time for yourself and for the animal.
Yeah.
Bringing in, it's rough getting a $20 Savannah monitor. Yeah. It sounds right because it's like this thing doesn't cost anything.
It does not sound right.
No, but like we're talking about like average pet person coming into this. It sounds right because you're like,
take home that $20 Savannah. Then
there's not that much.
Whatever.
Exactly. There's not that much risk.
Yeah.
But it's not great for the animal. They deal with a lot of stress. Sometimes they come in with parasites versus something that's captive bred here. It costs a pretty penny, but
it's worth it.
100% worth it.
Yeah.
And even if that Savannah or bigger monitor lives past that period of, living or dying within the first couple months, the feeding bill, specifically on Savannah, is going to be through the roof if you're doing it properly, which most people don't. The housing, even more money. And for all that combined money, I think it's a lot better to pay a little more upfront for an animal that is going to be, one, more practical for you, a better pet in general in terms of keeping, than just spending the money little by little. And then when you zoom out at the end of the day, you're spending almost like $1,000, maybe $1,500 on keeping that Savannah around.
Yeah. So what are the big plans with the Ackies? You're just trying to produce them regularly?
I'm trying to get them out there more in the hobby for like to have a better option. Honestly, my goal is I want a couple pairs. I want to be able to produce them throughout the year. I'm getting like 4-ish clutches right now a year.
Okay.
But I don't want to spawn my female. I don't want to spawn my female that much. I want to be able to cycle her on and off.
Cool.
So I'm gonna get a couple more pairs going, a couple more dwarf species going, and just to have the option out there for people.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I wish you luck. Thank you so much for doing this. One more time, where can people find you?
On Facebook, Instagram, it's Quality Bred Exotics.
So you've reached the end of the episode. We got here a non-forgotten face. Tino.
That's me.
You're here, bro.
I am here.
You're here actually probably for a couple episodes in the next upcoming weeks.
Crazy.
How you feeling, man?
Good. Chilling. Chilling. I'm kind of tired at this point now.
Yeah. It's been a lot.
It's like halfway through the show already.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tired.
Well, it's good to see you again. You've been promoted to supporting cast.
Yes.
Which we don't have to talk about right now, but you've been really busy doing some work, a lot of work, man. You've been keeping yourself busy.
Yeah.
You want to show us what you got,
I do,
my guy?
Yes.
Let's celebrate for Tino.
A Cameron Highlands Ridley Eye male.
Who's Cameron Highlands?
Cameron Highlands is the locale.
Cool.
Okay, so what specifically is important for this, or is it just because you're like, okay, I have something from this area?
Yeah,
that's cool.
so I'm very into beauty snakes. This is a species of beauty snake, a subspecies. Yeah. It's all right. It's a Laugh tenura Ridley Eye, and so they're known as the cave dwelling racers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're very cool. They spend most of their time in caves. That's where most people find them, and because of that, they have very, very like light, palish, sometimes even yellow coloration. It's very, very cool to see them. But yeah, they're subspecies of the other snakes. I have Vietnamese beauties, Grabowskis.
Yeah.
I now have a pair of the Ridley Eye.
Very nice.
So it's very, very cool. Can't wait to see them grow up. They're really I'm not a breeder. I'm not looking to make money really. I just really, really passionate about these snakes, and I want to hack some babies. Hack some babies. It's gonna be really cool. And it furthers my. I'm kind of like a collector in that sense, where I want to have all the subspecies of beauties. Most of that. Well, I'd say half of them are basically unattainable, but we'll see.
You do what you can.
We'll see. You do what you can. Yeah, and the Ridley Eye are very common. A lot of people like the Ridley Eye because they're so pretty. So I'm excited. These guys in the wild, their predominant diet is bats, and so it's cool. I love cave species. You have the Puerto Rican boas. So cool. Cave species that eat bats.
Fire.
Peak for real.
You gotta get some frozen bats. Where we got them?
That's crazy. You're gonna start the next pandemic.
Oh hell no! It's my snake's fault. It's not mine.
Yeah, right. So that's that one. And then, thanks to Wilder. Wilder's an amazing man.
Got you, buddy.
Yeah, you got me. Wilder is an amazing man. I now have a Drymarchon Corée or a yellow-tailed Caribou.
Let's go.
So excited. The largest of the Drymarchon. Amazing eaters. Just beasts of snakes. Absolutely incredible. I'm so excited.
It's really nice to actually see you have one now, because I remember since I met you, that was like the thing.
Drymarchon. Yeah, I've always loved Drymarchon. I used to volunteer at the OCIC with indigos, and so it's like, man, Drymarchon is peak snakes. Peak snakes.
You finally got the poster snake.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah. Let's go.
So you've reached the end of the road with your Colubra journey.
I guess I'm at the end. No, actually, speaking of the show, there's 2 snakes that I was like, I mean, like, basically, not unattainable dreams, but, like, if I ever do it, it's going to be very far down the long. Giant keeled rat snake, also known as Pataeus carinata, the largest colubrid in the world.
You got to show that to me.
They get past 12 feet. Yeah. Past 12 feet long, a colubrid. They're eating mostly snakes and frogs. Incredible animals. And then they're kind of like the Drymarchon of Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And then I also saw black Onyosoma gansoni. So the black-tailed rat snakes, but all black.
That was cool.
Crazy.
Wait, you saw the all black today?
Yeah, I saw the all black today.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you know who has it?
Who?
Arthur, Incredible Pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So funny.
I gotta go
so
see it.
funny.
That's cool.
But yeah, dude, peak snakes for real. Also saw a lot of cool lizards. Albino easterns at Ron.
Yes, the blue tongues, yeah.
I mean, not fire. I don't really like morphs, but still, it's cool to be like.
It's cool to see.
Interesting, new thing.
Like, oh, look, they exist.
Yeah. A Fly River is here. Fly River turtle is here.
Yeah.
There's always
Rupert,
that one.
we heard about him. Yes.
Map turtles, black knob map turtles,
all
and
the
then
cool
the yellow
stuff.
blocks.
Yeah, basically.
It is not a good show for inverts. There is hardly any invertebrates here. Hardly any tarantulas or isopods and stuff. Almost no scorpions. Scorpions are not to be found at all. But
whatever.
Yeah.
Overall,
it is what it is.
Good.
What about you?
Good show. Me?
Nothing taking home?
No, I'm not taking anything home. Fuck that.
He's trying to come home with less shit.
Yeah, true. But I did see some cool stuff. I basically saw all the stuff that I want to work with in the flesh for the first time.
Sweet.
I've never seen Asper in person.
Yeah, the Nephurus Asper. What is Asper?
It's basically a bigger, darker amii knobtail.
Yeah.
So cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything home.
Nothing?
No.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even taking my shit. I'm leaving it here.
Yeah, it's just going to stay here for next year.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys have gotten to a point where you're kind of not peaked. I want to say
I've plateaued.
No, you kind of have the things that you want to work with.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
you guys
I plateaued.
Like,
I'm waiting for everything
I'm kind of good. You're working with your blue tongue specifically, the projects that you want to be working on.
Well, I will say there's definitely things that I want, but it's at a point. No, but it's nothing that I can afford.
Really? You want the albino Easterns?
Yes.
Or the albino Northerns?
No, they're Easterns.
Oh, they're Easterns.
Well, technically,
yeah.
they're Ultimates.
Okay.
So they're crosses between Easterns, Northerns, and IJs.
That's
all of
crazy.
them.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's Tiliqua, Skinkoides, SP.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Well,
I saw diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah, diamond carpet.
Yeah.
You were talking about.
Angolan pythons. Yeah, Casey Cannon. Cannon has Angolan pythons.
So the Nephurus, the knobtail guy.
Yeah.
Is it the same guy?
Well, over there. Yes. And he was telling me, this is something that I did not know that I will go over there and talk to him about. Because he's trying to get me to buy his Hypo Stonewash Brettles, which is pretty much a Brettles python on steroids. It's red as fuck. And I was telling him, I was like, well, like they haven't really gone for me this year. And I was going to use that money to buy some more animals, branch out with the Brettles and get Angolan pythons. And he told me, he's like, well, those will actually be perfect outside. And I was like, oh, but like, I don't know, cold and whatever. He's like, no, dude, where these are found, it probably gets colder than it does where the Brettles are found. And I was like, I would have not thought about that because everybody says, oh, it's like you keep them like ball pythons. And no, apparently he's like, no, they actually get cold in their ranges.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we're gonna try. I did get offered adult Angolan pythons recently.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Cannot afford adult Angolan pythons. But we'll see how the future goes, man.
Yeah. And so Eric, the only thing you really want is a knobtail. You want a knobtail for like the entire time I've known you. You know what? The price has not gone down, dude. Yeah. The price is the same.
I can give him my knob.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I don't want. If you give me your tail.
My tail. Well,
no, bro.
Wait.
All right.
I already lost mine. Oh.
Well, Teeny Weeny, we miss you.
Yes.
We love you. You are the man, the myth, the legend, and we will continue to make our efforts. And we are ever so proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. And the listeners miss you. They comment about you.
Where's Daffy Dog?
Yeah, they're like, "Where's Daffy Dog?" and all that jazz. This was the Reptiles With Podcast at the Daytona National Reptile Breeders Expo.
We've reached the end of the episode. Thank you so much for checking this out. Now it's time to have a little bit of a conversation. I wrote a couple of my thoughts down, so it's probably going to get a little sappy. I apologize, but you guys know me. I'm a little bit of a sappy guy. Anyways, everyone that you saw here on this episode, I respect greatly. Whether we have different views personally about any topic, from reptile to political, it doesn't matter. We all have something in common, and that's the human experience. And through that experience, there's always room to learn and grow from anyone. The time that we spent making this podcast has been a complete blessing, and I have had some unforgettable conversations with amazing people. But that being said, your boy needs a break. Transparently, the past 2 years have been kind of rough, and it doesn't seem like it's getting any easier for me. And if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you kind of seen some of these life updates that I've given. So what I did this weekend of the Daytona National Reptile Breeders Expo is I recorded a couple of episodes. I busted my ass. My voice is literally tired from how much time I have spent talking to people. But so what's gonna happen is this week you got the full Daytona National Reptile Breeders Expo podcast. Next week you're gonna be getting a podcast that features everybody we were hanging out with at the Airbnb, and then the next 3 weeks after that, you should be getting some of the special interviews of specific people that we spend an extended time with, 20, 30, 40 minutes, even up to an hour. just talking. I want to thank all the listeners for keeping us pumped while making this podcast. I need to thank my wife and my family for keeping me sane. I need to thank my business partners at Modern Reptiles, and of course our co-hosts here at the Reptiles With Podcast, and the friends that come and hang out with us to keep the process fun. Lastly, the biggest shout out that I need to give to is the members. You guys are the driving force that keeps this community growing, and honestly, like, a big point of inspiration for me when I see, you know, that you guys continue to give us this support, and it's like gives me a reason to keep doing this. Now, this is the sappy part, guys. A team isn't about a captain, it's MVP or a single person. A team is about a group of people with their own goals that are surrounded by others with similar goals, and you all work together, you collaborate with each other for the larger picture, the larger goal. And life is nothing when you win alone. It's best when you share these wins with others. And now, I'll take my break. We'll be recording again in a couple weeks. You guys, again, aren't going to miss anything. No episodes will be missed. This is the Reptiles With Podcast.